Hi there. So, in this video, I want to talk about something that I've called sense illusions. So, when you think of something that's not real, I'm not saying that our senses, like our our five senses, right? Um, the way we interact with the world through the senses isn't necessarily wrong. Um, I think when we cut our senses, when we dull our senses, we can experience life in a way that I think that life was not meant to be experienced. So there's many ways we can dull our senses in this world. Sometimes we just don't allow ourselves to feel things emotionally at times. We don't want to be too emotional. That's also not that healthy, but there are other ways that we dull our senses just by maybe not being fully connected to our bodies and to our outer environment. Um, when I talk about a fully embodied existence, it's not necessarily meaning something mysterious in that sense. It just means having an awareness of yourself physically. So, with that said, I just want to read something that I wrote, um, and it's about, keep in mind, it's it's about the way we experience this world through our senses and also through our emotions as well. So I wrote, one who becomes devoid of natural instincts becomes unable to sense the natural world around him. So uh, throughout the years and the centuries, human beings have n- what's called natural instincts, and so I don't believe we're like animals in that sense. I believe that a lot of the animals, that's how they survive, is by natural instincts. But I think human beings, uh, when we're connected to to our souls and connected and having feeling that connection with all of our senses and our emotions and everything, um, it's when we cut ourselves off from that we become unable to sense the natural world around us, right? So that's very important. So when the soul is cut off from the natural senses, it becomes blinded by illusions. So when we cut ourselves off from experiencing this world in well, I'll say it again. When the soul is cut off from the natural senses, it becomes blinded by illusions. So, what are those illusions? Another thing, uh, it could be the hell of the senses, and so like your senses can actually lead you to like a hellish kind of existence where all you're feeding is your cravings and your senses and all these things, and that can lead to a sense of desperation at times because uh, there's no joy in that, right? So, and also I said the senses then train themselves to dull the pain. So when we do that, when the soul is cut off from the natural senses, it becomes blinded by illusions, like sense illusions. The senses then train themselves to dull the pain of life and accept trauma rather than transcend it. So when we are not really connected to our physicality, uh, we can dull the pain of life. So instead of instead of transcending our trauma, we can dull the pain, and we never heal. We never fully recuperate. We're just kind of plodding along, not really aware of why we're feeling the way we're feeling. So, and I said, love is found in innocence and temporary things that distract the mind from experience from fully experiencing embodiment are signs from the devil to remove all remembrance of the innate joy of the soul found in being fully present for your life. So again, talking about being fully present for your life uh, doesn't mean you have to like struggle to put yourself in the moment 24 hours a day, or take some time to like really focus. It should be it can help to do those types of exercises, but it should be something involving the emotions, the senses. When you experience life in that way, I personally believe you're fully alive. And so when I said that, um, I said love is found in innocence, right? Love is found in innocence, and temporary things that distract the mind from fully experiencing embodiment. Temporary things, like things that distract us, you know, kind of a lot of distracted people these days, right? So temporary things which distract the mind, it's the mind that has to connect first, right? So which distract the mind from fully experiencing embodiment. That's just a feeling of being aware of your environment, being emotionally connected to other people, to the food that you're eating, to your environment, right? Embodiment are things that take you away from that, are like signs from the devil to remove all remembrance of the innate joy of the soul, right? So the joy of the soul is found in that sense of connectivity, embodiment, uh, control of the senses, if you will, right? Um, and also, um, and it's found. So I'll just read that again. So it's uh, those things will remove the remembrance of the innate joy of the soul, found in being fully present for your life, right? So you want to be present in this life. You don't want to get to the end and feel like you missed it, like you were absent, like when you're in school and you skip a class or something, or you're sick or you don't show up and the teacher's calling your name, like, Mike, are you here? Mike, are you here? And Mike's nowhere to be found because he's distracted himself and he's off doing something other, games or something else in life that kind of loses that sense of embodiment and connectivity, right? So I call this sense illusions, and if you're not careful, you can very easily slip into something that I would call the hell of the senses. I don't mean to scare anybody. It's just a horrible way of saying that you have no control, self-control, and you lose that sense of joy of the soul. So there you go. That's what I'm going to call sense illusions. Thanks so much for listening.